Do you know which is that one question all of us are surely gonna reply with a yes? That question is, do you want to grow? Do you want growth in your life, in your field, or in your work? Well, of course, yes. So, all of us are surely gonna reply that question with a yes. But let me tell you one thing. Sometimes what happened with us is we came to a point in our life and we usually get stuck there. We are not able to come out of that zone. We are not able to grow from that zone. And as a result, our mind gets completely numb and helpless. So we are not going to talk about those causes and reasons that hamper our growth, but more than that, we are going to discuss how to leave that zone, how to understand growth, and how to realize things about growth. And don't worry, I'm not going to tell you anything stupid, or not stupid, but anything straightforward like if you want to grow, wake up at 5 a.m., do meditation, do workout, do this, do that. If you're doing it, that's perfectly fine. But I personally understand that if you want to grow in your life, if you want to grow in your work, there is nothing like doing straightforward things. It is more about realizing something and then working upon that realization. So this video is going to be more of a discussion rather than a solution. So make sure you're watching this video till the very end, because you will surely get something amazing out of this video today. And if you like my content, make sure you're hitting that bell icon so you can get notified about all the videos that I'm posting. And just keep watching and keep growing. आपको पता है, as individuals, we have certain opinions, certain viewpoints, and we have a certain perception about things. And it is a natural human tendency to have opinions and views about something. And practically speaking, sometimes we become very rigid about those opinions and those viewpoints. And when we become rigid, our attitude eventually becomes कि यार ये जो चीज़ है and इस चीज़ को मैं जिस तरीके से देख रहा हूँ, the viewpoints and opinions that I have about this thing, they are correct. And I'm doing perfectly correct upon them. So ये basic human nature रहता है, and it's not wrong, but this thing actually hampers our growth. So now we will try to deep more into this aspect. तो होता क्या है कि when we are working upon something, or even when we are just living our life, हमारे eventually चीज़ों को लेकर opinions बनते हैं, चीज़ों को लेकर viewpoints हमारे establish होते हैं. And because at that time we might not have that much knowledge to analyze those viewpoints and those standpoints, we become rigid about them. For example, suppose आपकी लाइफ में एक पर्टिकुलर इंसिडेंट हुआ, या आप अपने कुछ नया काम स्टार्ट कर रहे हो, तो बिफोर स्टार्टिंग दैट वर्क और बिफोर एंटरिंग इनटू दैट जोन, you might have certain viewpoints and opinions about that work or about that practical thing. So of course you will handle that work, you will live that experience with those standpoints and those viewpoints. And because they are rigid, because those viewpoints and those standpoints would be rigid, तो आपका उस चीज़ को देखने का जो तरीका होगा, आपका जो उस चीज़ को देखने का एक परसेप्शन होगा, that would also be rigid. So now what basically happens कि जैसे जैसे आप उस काम को आगे करते रहोगे, जैसे जैसे आपकी लाइफ में या आपके ब्रेन में कुछ नए एक्सपीरियंसेस आते रहेंगे, तो you will realize one thing. You will realize that all those opinions, all those viewpoints, and all those standpoints that you have about a particular thing in the past, they were actually wrong. They were wrong, or should I say, you were rigid about them. And आपको पता है यहाँ पर भी एक बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग चीज़ है. Actually, most of us, even after realizing that our viewpoints and our standpoints about something in the past were wrong, we are not ready to accept that thing. We keep holding upon all those viewpoints and all those standpoints because we were rigid about them, and that thing eventually hampers our growth. But on the other hand, something good can also happen. If we are ready to leave those opinions, we are ready to leave those standpoints. And once we leave those standpoints, एक बार हमने ये चीज़ सोच लिया कि हाँ, I was wrong there and now I need to leave these opinions. मुझे अपने ओपिनियंस पे वर्क करना पड़ेगा. मेरा जो इस चीज को लेकर व्यू पॉइंट था, दैट वॉज कंप्लीटली रॉन्ग. यू हैव रियलाइज्ड दैट यू वर रॉन्ग इन द पास्ट, एंड आफ्टर रियलाइजिंग यू हैव ऑल्सो एक्सेप्टेड दिस थिंग कि ओके, I am a human being, I can make mistakes, I was wrong in the past, and because of that I have faced something which have forced me to learn something about my opinions. And as you know, there is a very famous saying, a man learns from his mistakes. That is actually the crux of this discussion. तो जैसे जैसे हमारे चीज़ों को लेकर व्यू पॉइंट्स और स्टैंड पॉइंट्स इवॉल्व होते जाते हैं, हम अपनी लाइफ में, अपने वर्क में ऑटोमेटिकली ग्रो करते रहते हैं. बिकॉज यू नो, हमारे जितने भी एक्सपीरियंसेस होते हैं ना, एक्चुअली में वहाँ पर ही बहुत चीज़ प्रैक्टिकल है कि हम नए लोगों से मिलेंगे, हम नए तरीके काम करेंगे, हम लाइफ की नई नई चीज़ें एक्सप्लोर करेंगे, हमारे कॉन्टैक्ट में नए लोग आएंगे, उनके अलग स्टैंड पॉइंट्स होंगे. हो सकता है देयर माइट बी अ पर्सन हु हैज़ मोर एक्सपीरियंस देन यू इन योर वर्क, एंड आफ्टर वाइल वर्किंग विथ हिम you might realize कि okay, the way I was perceiving this thing, the way I was developing opinions and viewpoints about that thing, they were wrong, and that's why I was not able to grow from this point. And एक बार आपको ये चीज़ realize हो जाएगी ना, once you are able to realize this thing that all your viewpoints and all your standpoints were wrong, then वहाँ पे जो next step आपको लेना पड़ेगा, that step would be, now you need to work upon your opinions, or should I say, now you need to establish even more right opinions. And by right opinions I didn't mean कि जो आपका उस टाइम फिर ओपिनियन सेट होगा, जो आपके उस टाइम के व्यू पॉइंट्स होंगे, वो एकदम करेक्ट होंगे. आपको एक बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग चीज बताऊं मैं. जस्ट ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस थिंग. व्हाट बेसिकली हैपेंस कि जब हमें कोई आगे से क्रिटिसाइज करता है, व्हेन समवन क्रिटिसाइज अस, वी आर नॉट एबल टू हैंडल दैट थिंग मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स, एंड इट इज अगेन बेसिक ह्यूमन नेचर. एंड ड्यू टू दिस रिजिडिटी समटाइम्स we are not able to realize that our opinions, our viewpoints and our standpoints might be wrong somewhere. But just imagine, what if हम खुद के सबसे बड़े critic बन जाए? What if we become our own biggest critic and we start questioning our every idea, every viewpoint and every standpoint that we have about certain things. And once we start questioning everything, once we become our own biggest critic, then we would eventually be able to realize and to see all our mistakes that we are doing. Chances are कि हमें खुद की ऐसी mistakes detect हो which most of the people around us are not able to. And then just imagine, what if someday someone come and he start to criticize you in a positive way, or should I say, he's trying to make you realize your own mistakes. And you know, there are good chances that at that point you already might knowing that mistake and you already might be working upon that. So you know what is the biggest advantage of becoming your own critique? You would be eventually able to realize all your mistakes before anyone could realize, and then you would quickly start working upon them. एंड जब आपको खुद की गलतियां पता लगेगी, तो ऑफ कोर्स यू वुड बी ऑल्सो रियलाइजिंग कि यार जो मेरे ओपिनियंस थे, मेरे व्यू पॉइंट्स थे इस पर्टिकुलर चीज़ को लेकर, दे वर रिजिड, एंड नाउ आई नीड टू लीव दोज ओपिनियंस. एंड वंस यू स्टार्ट डेवलपिंग न्यू ओपिनियंस अबाउट समथिंग, दैट इज अ क्लियर साइन दैट यू आर ग्रोइंग इन योर लाइफ और इन योर वर्क. एंड वंस यू आर एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस वेरी सिंपल थिंग, you would eventually be able to identify those wrong opinions, those wrong perception or those rigid opinions. And after identifying all those opinions that were wrong about certain things, you would find yourself in a zone जहाँ पर आप कोशिश करोगे, you would try कि मैं खुद को और एक्सप्लोर कर पाऊँ, मैं खुद के काम को, मैं लाइफ को और एक्सप्लोर कर पाऊँ. So now I'm pretty sure by now you might have understood what actually I want to convey to you all. And if you are able to implement this thing in a good way in your life, then you will see how your opinions that once you have about certain things in the past, they are getting upside down, and that is actually a plus sign leading to growth. So that's it from my side. I hope you learned something new and something amazing from this video today. And if you like this video, make sure you are sharing it with all of your friends. And stay tuned until the next time. I will come up with even more something amazing and insightful. Till then, bye bye and take care.